Hey everybody, it's Christiana. Sorry, I was dragging my electronic leash around. And I'm caught on something. There we go. Hi everybody, welcome to Fiber at 4. And today we're going to be talking about family craft time. So while I'm waiting for everyone to join us, I just wanted to let you know that I am still doing well on my New Year's resolution. Hey Mom. So this week I finished 3 projects, but I'm not sure if I'm going to finish any this upcoming week because all these projects I finished are relatively small or I was pretty far along on them. Hey Gloria. Hey Nancy. So the first one, this is a shawlette that I finished this week. It's called Snowflake Party and it is by Martina Behm. That's spelled B-E-H-M. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's probably because she's the same person who designed The Hitchhiker. So, oh, good. I'm hoping that microphone helps. So this is the Snowflake Party shawlette by Martina Behm, and I made it out of Road to China Light because I overbought for a sweater that I made. So that's that project, and let me find the right end. I actually put in 4 little beads here because it's kind of a quirk she has. So I put in 4 little beads when I was binding off. So that's my Snowflake Party shawlette. And then I almost have this hat finished. This is just a crocheted hat that I made the pattern up for. This is out of Dust Tiaras and the colorway is called Ursula. And sorry everybody, but I literally bought the last hank of this. And all I need to do is put the pom-pom on it, and that'll be good to go. This one, normally I don't block my hats. This one I did block because it was such a dark color. I wanted to make sure all the dye was out of the yarn before I wore the hat. And project number 3, I finished the 3rd hat of the Ginger Snaps hat kit. So this is hat number 3. It is a 2-colored cable hat. And this one was a lot of fun. It has color work, it has cables, it has slip stitches. So this is probably an intermediate type pattern. But just for kicks and giggles, I brought all 3 of the hats so you guys could see them. So these are the Ginger Snap hat kits. So that's the buffalo plaid, and the kit comes with all 3 hats. A stranded color work, and the cable color work. And this one I'm also going to block too because I need it to relax just a tiny bit. So yay, those are my 3 projects for this week. So I am keeping up on my New Year's resolution. I am finishing projects. So thank you all for, indulging me and letting me share. I really feel that this is helping me stay on task, being accountable to all you guys. So thank you very much. So this week we are talking about family crafts. So these are good craft ideas for not only adults but children or families wanting to learn something together. So, oh, thank you, Nancy. So I'm going to start with this guy over here going off camera. So this is a relatively new item to the shop. This is the Discover Knitting Scarf Kit. This is by the Harrisville Designs Friendly Loom people. And I'm going to be showing another product of theirs down the road just a little bit. Oh, yay. Thanks, Gloria. Oh, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you letting me share with you all. It's really helping me out a lot. So, Discover Knitting Scarf Kit. This guy is $24.99. And this comes with the yarn, the wooden knitting needles, and the complete instructions to make this scarf. And they even put on here level 1 so that it's a very beginner project. I know these are geared a little bit more towards children, probably about 8 years old and up, but this is actually a great way for adults to learn too. If you learn with your child, then you're not only doing something together, but you're both learning at the same time. So you're figuring out how to fix things together, how to cast on together. So this is a great item if you want to learn to do something together. Besides too, I've learned a lot of the best learn to knit items are written for children. They're a great way to teach adults too because they break it down into bits, so it's a little bit easier to learn. So that is the Discover Knitting Scarf Kit. It is $24.99 and you've got the needles and the yarn and the pattern in there, so I'll show that to you guys. So that is what that kit comes with. Along the same lines, We have the Stitch and Story Knitters of Tomorrow kits. This kit comes with 2 different colors of yarn, and you've got enough yarn here to make either a scarf or a hat. And this also comes with the needles and the yarn. This also comes with a pattern book. Oh, it also has a sewing needle in it too. How about that? And they've also got some wonderful video tutorials if you need a little help beyond what is in the pattern book. So this is a great set. It is $25.99. I've got the yellow and gray colorway with me, but we've also got the purple and mint colorway in the shop. And all these items I'm showing you are on the Fiber at 4 shopping tab under the shopping category on the website. So if you see something you are interested in, it'll be just a touch easier to find. So that is the Knitters of Tomorrow kit, $25.99. And great way, again, for both adults and children to learn. And so I pulled this kit aside to share with you guys because when I was first in 4-H and refining my knitting skills, our first project that we typically did was a pair of slippers. And slippers are great because not everybody wears a scarf, or eventually you get tired of making scarves. So slippers are different. It's a different skill set. So you're learning to do seaming and shaping. So that's a great way to kind of, pardon the pun, get your feet wet with different styles of knitting. So I pulled this kit out to share with you guys tonight. This is the Lola Palm slippers, and this is by Stitch and Story, the same company that brought you the Knitters of Tomorrow kit. And this kit also comes with the yarn, the needles, instructions, and online tutorials. So there are the slippers right there. Aren't those adorable? And slippers are a great way to it's kind of a great second project. So you do your scarf and you want to try something else, I highly recommend slippers. They're useful and they're a lot of fun to knit. Again, it's a great way to learn new techniques. Cheryl, would you recommend slippers for a second knitting project? Cheryl says sure. So I want slippers. You've got slippers? No, I want slippers. Oh, you want slippers. Okay. So these are the Lola Palm slippers, and again they come with the yarn, the needles, the pattern, and online tutorials. And I've got the yellow and cream colored kit with me. We've got a couple other colors available, and here, let me flip the tag over for you so you guys can kind of see what all the kit comes with. So you've got your yarn, your needles, your instructions, and yeah, so, and it's a super bulky yarn, so these would take no time to make whatsoever. So highly, highly recommend. Okay, for you crocheters out there, I pulled a fun kit for you guys. I don't forget my crocheters. So this is Miffy. Miffy is a great introduction to amigurumi crochet if you've never tried it before. This yarn kit comes with the yarn and the hook and the instructions and everything. So it's, again, another Stitch and Story kit. But what I think makes these kits so great is the yarn is a little bit thicker. So it's a great introduction to amigurumi because you are working on a thicker yarn. So it's easier to find your stitches. It's easier to find where the rows begin and end. So Miffy, like the other Stitch and Story kits, comes with the yarn, the hook, the pattern, and the online tutorials if you get lost. They have this ranked as a level easy kit, so as long as you know how to single crochet and slip stitch, you should be just fine. Oh, and do your chaining also. The Stitch and Story kits are written in United Kingdom crochet terminology, so if you have any questions about that, let us know. But typically, it's a level above what we have in US terms. So if in US terms we say single crochet, in UK terms they say double crochet. So it's kind of like taking what we understand and adding one, and that's your UK terminology. So there is Miffy right there, and she is adorable. She's wearing a cute little orange dress, and this also comes with the darning needle and a little bit of black yarn to do the face embroidery, and it also has the stuffing in here too. So basically all you really need to provide are scissors and a locking stitch marker so you can find the beginning of your round. So or a safety pin. Safety pin works too. So Miffy is $49.50. And again, you've got the yarn, the hook, the instructions, the stuffing, the darning needle, the embroidery yarn, and your online tutorial in case you need a little bit of help. All right, trying to see where I am on my list. I have my cheat sheet here so I don't get lost. So if you're learning to knit or learning to crochet, you need equipment. So what we have here are, first of all, the Amore crochet hooks for you crocheters. We really like these hooks because of the grip on them. It's easy to figure out how to hold it, and it's really easy to work with. I find that when I have the ones with the handle on them, when I'm using them, my hand doesn't tense up quite as badly as if I were using just a solid metal hook. So if you're just learning, I like to look more towards the middle to kind of slightly above the middle-sized hooks, so your HIJK, that kind of range in there, because you don't want a too big of a hook or you don't want too small of a hook. So the same goes with the knitting needles too. If you're learning to knit, I would highly recommend starting out on single point needles. Double points and circulars would just be a little too confusing to do your first project on, so these keep it nice and simple until you get a better grip on what knitting's all about. So again, you want to look kind of for a mid-range needle, so we're talking like 7 through 10. So these guys are a size 10, and you can see right there about how thick they are. Yeah, sorry about the glare on that. So I have included these on the Fiber at 4 shopping category. The prices do range from needle size, so I'm holding here a size 10, a pair of size 10 knitting needles, and they're $7.99. And these guys are 9-inch length needles. We also have 13-inch. And so this hook that I've got right here is a size I, and he is $10.50. So the larger hooks and larger needles will be a little bit more expensive, and the smaller hooks and needles, unless they're the steel hooks, which is a completely different story, will be a little less expensive. But these are kind of the middle range. And great yarns to learn to knit or crochet on would be the Ultra Wool and the Rios if you want to go worsted. But if you want to go just slightly above worsted to kind of like an Aran bulky weight yarn, I would recommend the Barocco Vintage Chunky. It's not a super thick yarn, so it's not going to be bulky and overwhelming, but it's not so thin that it's discouraging because your project isn't growing very fast. The fiber content on this is acrylic, wool, and nylon, so this is a great beginner project yarn too because it's very easy care. This you can throw in the washing machine. I would still lay flat to dry. I never ever throw anything handmade in the dryer. I always lay it flat to dry, but this can go in the washing machine. And I pulled just 4 colors to show you guys tonight, but we have a rainbow of colors on the wall. We've got plenty of neutrals and a lot of super bright and super fun colors. So this guy is $10.95 per hank. We've got 136 yards in here. So for a scarf, I would probably buy 3. For a cowl or a hat, you can get away with 2, maybe 1.5, but we don't sell half skeins. So I've got a couple of nice grays here that are great neutrals, and then I've got the turquoise and the lilac color. And also too, this is a great yarn for cabling. I've used it for color work too. It's great too if you're making a project for someone who might not necessarily know how to care for a more expensive yarn. So this is just put in the washer on delicate, lay flat to dry, boom, you're done. So this is a great yarn to learn to knit or crochet on because it's not too thick, it's not too thin, so I highly recommend this. So for families who want to learn and crochet together. So moving forward, I've got something fun here. So these are the Potholder Looms, brought to you by the same company as the Discover Knitting Scarf. So we've got 2 looms in the shop right now. We've got the 50th anniversary edition of the Potholder Loom. This guy is $59.99. He's a 7-inch loom, so 7-inch square. And it comes with black and white cotton loops, enough to make 4 pot holders, a metal weaving hook, a metal crochet hook, to finish the edge and then full instructions. So he has $59.99. These are a limited edition, so we're not going to be getting any more in. Plus, this guy is made out of chrome, so it makes him a little more special. I think the black and white is really, really cool and a really neat way to celebrate a 50th birthday. So that's one loom that we have. The other loom we have is the Potholder Pro. This is a 10-inch square loom. This comes with enough cotton loops to make 2 pot holders, and it also has the weaving hook, the crochet hook, and instructions. So we hear a lot, oh, I made these in elementary school, or this was a present from my grandmother. Well, these are great for crafters of all ages because it makes such a very useful item. So let me show you here. We've got this pot holder that we as a staff made collectively, and it's really nice and thick. It's durable. I would have no problem setting a hot pan down on this guy. So here is what the loom looks like. So this is the Potholder Pro, which is the 10-inch, and it's got the, let's see if I can, teeth there to put the loops on. So let me show you how this is done. So there are the cotton loops. And to warp your loom, you would loop it over one of these teeth. And this is a lot easier to do when you're not on camera. Then you stretch it all the way across the loom and loop it onto the corresponding tooth around the other side. So let me do just a couple more on here. So I'm going across to the other side. Not doing this in any particular color pattern. I'm just grabbing random loops from the bag. And so let me just do one more. Let's do, I don't have any red on there. Let's put a red one on there. So this is a great craft to do with children, and its skills are pretty transferable. I mean, this is how we all got started weaving, and now we're all moving on to our crickets and flips and table looms. So this is a good way to kind of gauge and see if your child might be interested in learning to weave. So how you actually do the weaving part. So I'm gonna, normally you'd have the entire thing. Oh, Nancy got it to make pot holders with her grandchildren. Oh, that's so wonderful. So see, Nancy's doing crafts with her grandchildren. That's awesome. So to weave across, I put my loop on the hook, and then what you're going to do with, and this is the long weaving hook, you're going to go over, under, all the way across. Sorry, I'm trying to get this where you guys can see it. So I've got my hook in there, and I'm going to pull it, and while I'm pulling it, I'm going to catch the loop on the hook on the tooth, going right and left, and then I'm going to turn my hook and pull it through where I wove it in. And of course, under normal circumstances, the whole thing would have been warped. And then I pull it through and pull it to the corresponding tooth on the other end. So that is how you make the pot holders. And then to finish the edge off, I'm not going to pull it off of here, but where you've got the loops right here, you take the crochet hook that comes with the kit, pick it up and put it underneath the loop, and then you pull it off, and then you pull the next one off, and then pull it through. So for those of you who are familiar with a chain and crochet, it's just the exact same thing as chaining. You put the loop on your hook, pull it through the first loop, and so on until you get all the way around. And that creates this neat braided looking edge on there. So lots and lots of fun. I need to get one for myself, to be honest with you all, because this looks like a blast. So that is the Potholder Pro loom. It is 10 by 10, and it is a metal loom. And the Potholder Pro loom is $29.95, and again it comes with the loom, a bag of loops enough to make 2 pot holders, the weaving hook, a crochet hook, which obviously you could use for crocheting too if you wanted to, and it also comes with the instructions, and that is $29.95. So if you really enjoy the potholder looms, we do have a lot of loops bags. So we've got these in 4 different colors. We've got the brights, the pastels, the designer colors, and the black and white loops. And these are $39.95, and there are enough loops in here to make 8 pot holders on the Potholder Pro loom, so the 10-inch by 10-inch loom. So again, that is $39.95, and that looks like so much fun. Do you do stuff like this with your grandkids, Teresa?
I have that.
You have it?
I have it, but we haven't done that.
Oh, you haven't tried it yet?
No.
Well, you have to let me know if they like it.
Okay. You should. I got something that I want you to show when you do.
Okay, cool. So Teresa has something she wants me to show when I get a little further down the line. So I'm going to take a tea break real quick. All right. Excuse me. So, sorry, I'm going off camera again. So something that families can do together, this is probably for older kids. I would say at least 10 years old and up, even though most of these kids say 14 and up, and that is needle felting. So even if your child is old enough to do this, I would still highly recommend adult supervision on it. So needle felting, you can create fun little guys like this snowman here. Oh, thank you. I was looking for this. And what you do with needle felting is you have a barbed needle and a foam surface, and you put some wool on here, and then you punch it with the needle until it felts down so it becomes, could you grab me just a little felted guy? I forgot to grab a felted guy. Oh, I didn't see him over there. Isn't he cute? He's cute. So you would keep punching it with the needle until the wool turns into felt. And this is done by the barbed needle catching on the wool and forcing the wool fibers together to catch on themselves. So you're basically sculpting with wool and a needle. So you do want a foam surface to do your felting on. So we do offer foam pieces here at the shop. Right now this is the last one here, so we're going to be ordering some more soon. I've heard too, in a pinch, if you don't have foam, a roll of paper towels will work too. Upholstery foam works as well, so if you are an upholsterer, you can use that foam. And the needles, we do sell them individually or in sets. So I've got some guys here. So this is a size 36 needle, and I'm just going to pop one out to show you guys what a felting needle looks like. So you can't see the barbs on there, but they're definitely there. And then it has just a little L handle on it. So this part up here is where you want to grab onto, and down here is the really super sharp part. We do also have holders like a pen style holder or a little wooden knob that holds multiple needles if you're doing a wider surface of felting. The individual needles are great for if you're just learning and also if you're doing a little bit more delicate work. So that would be the individual felting needles, and these guys are $1 each for just one. We do ship these. If you are watching from out of the Longmont area, we can ship them. We just make sure that they're packaged really nicely and really tightly so they don't stab anybody. So that's the individual needles, and these are the Felting Source multi-needle packs. This is an 8-pack for $8.99, and this has 2 of each needle size, so it is an 8-needle variety pack. And we've also got a 4-needle variety pack. Yes, Melanie?
That's what I got. That's my favorite.
Oh, you got
the variety pack.
Oh, the variety, this guy?
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is Melanie's favorite. So this is a 4-needle pack, so it's just half the size of this guy, so you've only got 1 needle of each size in here, but that is $4.99.
And those are color coordinated.
Oh, and these
different needles.
They are color coordinated, aren't they?
This is my favorite part.
Okay, this is Melanie's favorite part. So they are color coordinated for the different size of needles.
And the package, there we go. The package will tell you what size.
Yeah, the packaging does tell you which size coordinates with which color, so it does come with information to tell you which needle is which. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So that's if you want to do kind of felting outside of a kit. We've got the needles, we've got the foam, and we've also got packs of the roving. So this is the Going Gnome roving. They are $10.95. We've got several different colors. I just pulled 2 to show you guys tonight though. So these are, I want to say about a 4-ounce pack. Probably wrong though. And so that's the rainbow colors, and then this is the blue-green pack. So we've also got flesh tones and reds, and I just grabbed 2 to show you guys tonight. But this is great if you want to kind of go off on your own. If you find a felting project like in a magazine or on Pinterest that you want to try, so this would be the route to go to. I've seen people take embroidery hoops and do felting pictures in the embroidery hoops. Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've seen books where they've taken felting and just made artwork out of felting. So like painting with wool. So there's more to felting than just the little critters, even though the critters themselves are fantastic. Another thing you can do too, and this is a great way to teach children how to felt with a lot of adult supervision.
Band-Aids.
Band-Aids, yes, Band-Aids.
No TV.
Yeah, no TV. Shut the TV off, shut the Xbox off, shut the stereo off. Is to do it with a cookie cutter. So what you would do is put the cookie cutter on the foam and hold it on the outside. Fill the middle with your wool. And then let me grab a needle here. And of course you'd have this setting down. You wouldn't be holding it up like I am. So you'd have your wool in the middle, and then you would just stab inside the cookie cutter. And especially with learners or children, you want to take it nice and slow, and always keep your eyes on what you're doing. Do not look away, because these are barbed. If you get it in your finger, it is going to hurt on the way in and hurt really bad on the way out. I am speaking from personal experience on that. But the cookie cutter method is a great way to teach children how to felt, because your fingers are out of the way. You're holding the cookie cutter and you're not holding the wool itself. So this is a great way to get started, whether you're a child or an adult. This is how I learned how to felt, with just the foam, the cookie cutter, a needle, and some wool. Another thing that I learned from personal experience, don't stab it too much, because if you stab it too much, it will stick to the foam, and getting it off the foam is really, really difficult. So I would recommend stabbing a little bit until it looks good, then pick it up and see if it'll come off the foam, because you can always put it back down and felt it a little bit more. So we do have some wonderful felting kits too. These kits all come with the wool, the instructions, and a needle to felt with. Some of these guys do come with the foam as well, but not all of them. So this guy does come with a felting surface. And I had to show you guys the snowman because I think he's absolutely adorable. So he also comes with the accessories to make his little broom. They have a pipe cleaner in there to make his broom, and some string to do his little mouth. So this is by the Crafty Kit Company, and they are based out of the United Kingdom, and this is $24.99 for this particular kit. They also have bird kits. We've also got a little kit that is a little beehive, so lots of fun options there. Then we have the feather felts kits, and I just put the spotty owl on the Fiber at 4 shopping category. We've also got a blue whale, we've got gnomes, we've got polar bears. These guys, most of them do come with the felting surface, but some of them do not. So if they do not come with the felting surface, it does say in the product name, without foam. So this guy he's actually an intermediate kit, and I just thought that was so cute. So this is another company based out of the United Kingdom, and let me pop this guy open. He's $24.99. So let me see if I can open this without ripping the box. So this comes very nicely packaged with all the roving, and then underneath you've got, I don't really want to move this too much because it's packaged so pretty. There's the felting surface down at the bottom, and you've got the felting needles in there too. And then you've got the full instructions in the kit to make this wonderful spotted owl. So he again is $24.99, and this does come with the felting surface. So another great family project. Again, lots and lots of adult supervision with needle felting. And then lastly, I've got the Wool Pets kits. Now these guys do not come with a foam surface, so you will have to provide your own surface with this guy. However, it does come with all the roving you need, the needles, and the instructions. And what I think is so cool about these guys too is on the very top of the packaging, it says the skill level. So I'm sorry, I know this is backwards, but this is an easy level kit. And then I've also pulled a couple intermediate. So the easy level kits require just very little shaping to them. So it's a good way to get to learn how to felt. So these are the mice, and they've got just a couple little color changes in them, and they're really, really cute. The two intermediate kits that I pulled are the giraffe. So you can kind of see the difference between the easy and the intermediate. There's more color changes here. There's a little bit more sculpting to it. And all of these kits come with plenty of wool. The smaller ones usually have enough to make 2 or 4 of these. The giraffe only makes 1 giraffe. And then I've got the unicorn here too, and the unicorn even has a little bit more sculpting than the giraffe does because it's got the horn there. So the Wool Pets kits are $24.95. They do come with multiple needles. They're the same size needle, but they come with an extra needle in case you lose one or one breaks. You've got a backup. So, and those guys range in skill level from easy to intermediate. I think there are a couple expert level ones. And Melanie, I forgot to grab a Going Gnome Kit. Can you grab a Going Gnome Kit for me? I knew I was forgetting something.
Gnome of the year? No.
Yeah, I want the Gnome of the Year.
Gnome of the year.
Gnome of the Year. So I fell in love with this gnome the second I saw him. I really, really love him, and I want to learn how to make this guy. This is the Going Gnome of the Year for 2022. He's $31.99. And oh my gosh, isn't that adorable? He's in a bird's nest cuddling the eggs. I think that is just wonderful. We've also got the Pride Gnome who has a rainbow hat, right?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. And this, yeah, they didn't put a skill level on here. Confident Beginner, so it's right there. These guys are also really good about labeling their kit skill levels. They also make bird kits. There's a penguin kit. They also have a narwhal kit, which I think is awesome. I need to make that guy. I love narwhal. So that is Going Gnome Kit of the Gnome of the Year for 2022. This, I think, would probably be a good family bonding activity. You could have someone working on the eggs, you can have someone working on the nest, and then you all can put them together. So I think that would be a great family activity. Well, and my next thing, I often forget that we carry embroidery here, so shame on me for forgetting that. But I highly recommend the Cozy Blue kits. I actually have one of these at home myself. Yeah, sorry, Robert, we don't have a koala, just a narwhal. So I recommend, sorry, my brother loves koalas. So.
Oh, your brother's on?
Yeah, my brother's on.
Nice.
So I recommend these embroidery kits because they come with the fabric with the printed pattern on it, the needle, the thread, and the instructions. And the instructions are incredibly clear. So they teach you the different kinds of stitch, from the satin stitch to just the normal back stitch. So I think the snowflake one would be a great beginning kit because it's mostly back stitching. And these guys are $29.99, and they literally come with everything you need except for a pair of scissors to snip your thread. So I brought the snowflake one because not only is it mostly just back stitching, but it's also just one color. So you're working on the pre-printed fabric with just one color. And embroidery, I love embroidery and cross stitch. It's something that my mom, my grandma, and I all did together. Bye, Melanie. So this is something we kind of did together as a family. So this is another thing that kind of reminds me of family and stuff you can do together. So this is the winter snowflake kit. And then this is the tangerine mandala. This one I would, even though these are relatively easy kits, I'd probably rank this as more of a confident beginner to intermediate level kit because you've got the color changes. Looks like you've got some satin stitching and back stitching in here. So this one you would this is another definitely shut the TV off, shut the Xbox off activity. But they are a lot of fun. And honestly, this is great if you have this sort of need for instant gratification. You can see your work pretty quickly on these guys. And this is it's a great gift as the kit, or it's a great gift as the finished product. This is a great teaching tool for children wanting to learn how to do embroidery because the instructions are so wonderful. So these are handmade in Asheville, North Carolina by Cozy Blue, and they are $29.99 each. We've got a couple other colorways here. I just pulled these guys tonight to kind of show the different skill levels there. So last but not least, we have my favorite family activity, and that is pom pom making. So I've got the pom poms on my hats, but I've also made just a couple random little poms here to show you guys. So if you're looking for a good stash buster, making pom poms is a great way to bust your stash down, especially if you're like me and you don't even like throwing away little bits of yarn. This is a great way to use a little bit of yarn. So we've got the poms. We've got 4 different sets of the Pom Pom Makers. So we've got here the super teeny tiny ones. So the small one, it makes an 1 3/8 width pom pom. And then the yellow one makes an 1 5/8 pom, so just a little bit bigger than that. And then we've got this set, which the green one is a 2.5-inch pom, and the blue one is a 3 3/8 inch, and these are both $10 each. And then we've got a really fun one. This is the giant Pom Pom Maker, and he is $15. And this makes a 4.5-inch diameter pom pom. And I love what they did here, where they turned it into like little plants, little trees. That's a great way to use pom poms. Then we've also got the 4-pack, and the 4-pack is $18.95. So you've got the 2 smallest ones and then the 2 medium-sized ones. So other than using pom-poms on hats and scarves and maybe on an edge of a shawl, there are lots of different things you can do, especially with kids, with the pom-poms. So I brought mine from home because they're already open, so I don't have to open any of the shop's pom-poms. So this is how the Pom Pom Maker works. It's just a little cylinder, and you open it up, so you pull these guys out and line the arches up. Oh, good, Bridget. Yeah, some of my fondest memories were doing crafts with my mom, with my grandmother, with my grandfather. So I hope this inspires you all to learn together as a family and make memories of your own. So with the Pom Pom Makers, you open it up like that, so it's kind of a weird looking S. And you're going to take your yarn and wrap it around each arch. What I do is on the first go around, I don't make it very pretty. I literally just wrap enough yarn to hold these in place, because as you can see, there's 2 different arches there. And then I wrap and I wrap and I wrap. And with these Pom Pom Makers, you don't want to get them too full, and nor do you want to get them not full enough. If you get them too full, then it's harder to cut the yarn, and as soon as you do, it's going to pop open and you're going to have yarn flying everywhere. But if you don't fill them enough, then your pom-pom's a little limp and not quite as fluffy. So my advice is when you're wrapping, keep wrapping until this arch is almost gone. You still want to be able to put like your fingertip underneath it. when you do that, then it's full enough. You close it up, and you have to do it on both sides. Close it up, and then you've got the track running down the middle there. So that's where you run your scissors to cut the yarn. And then that's also too where you would put a tie to tie the cut yarn. We recommend using either a cotton or a linen to tie your poms shut because the animal fibers like your wools and alpacas will break while you're trying to tie it shut. So what we do is we tie a surgeon's knot. So what I mean by a surgeon's knot is, and I'm not going to tie this all the way, so you start like you're tying your shoes. So you start with one wrap, and then instead of pulling it tight from there, you wrap it through again, and then you pull that. So the surgeon's knot really holds it in place, but even after that, I still tie a couple more knots on top of that just to really, really secure it. And then once you have this tied, you pop the arch pieces open, and then this is held together by a pin in the middle, and you pull that apart, and your pom-pom pops out. And then from there, you can take a pair of scissors and kind of even the threads out a bit, and then make it nice and fluffy. So the types of fiber I recommend for the pom-poms are the acrylics, the animal fibers. I would not recommend linen, bamboo, or cotton because they don't fluff up quite as much, and the pom-pom is kind of limp. The bamboo, cotton, they work great for tassels, but not so good if you want a nice fluffy pom-pom. So what do you do with your pom-pom from here? Well, again, you can put them on your hats. But here are some other ideas that we came up with. If you have like a bangle bracelet, you can wrap yarn around it and then put a pom on the bracelet. Also too, if you've got just a simple hair tie, probably wouldn't put the big pom on there, but hey, you never know. You would tie the pom around the hair tie, and then what I would do is put just a little dollop of clear fingernail polish or like beading epoxy on the knot so that it stays in place and doesn't come undone. Could almost do a class on pom-poms. Yeah, absolutely. I only know basic pom-pom making, but there are people out there who have made little animals with the pom-poms. They've figured out how to wind the yarn precisely to get striping effect on there. This I just did one color on one side and one color on the other. So yeah, you could do hair ties. In fact, when the last Steam Fest we did before COVID, we actually gave kids the hair ties and had them tie their pom-poms on there. Another idea that I thought was really cute, well, what if I took my nice white sneaker and put a really bright pom-pom on the toe? That would be so adorable. Or if you're a sock knitter and you're making your ankle socks, you can put the pom-pom on there like those cute little tennis socks that we all used to wear. So those are some good ideas. And then Teresa brought these up. These will be in the window probably starting tomorrow morning, or if I might be able to put them back tonight. Teresa made these cute little critters out of her pom-poms. So what we've got here on the bottom is just a foam heart like you can pick up at your craft store. And then she glued some googly eyes on there and then put in little pipe cleaners for antenna. So you've got not only cute little feet when he's sitting, but the foam heart also keeps him steady. So she did the same thing over here on this guy, but she made the antenna into cute little hearts on his head. So these are perfect family activities, and you can get the foam just at any crafting store. I know, Bridget, aren't they fantastic? This is what came to my mind when I'm like, oh, I want to talk about the pom-poms. I gotta find those little critters that Teresa made. So these are just they're just acrylic yarn, just leftovers from a project, and she was able to do these with her grandchildren. So another great idea for a family project. Alrighty, well, that is all I have for you guys tonight in the way of product, and I hope that this has inspired you to work with your kids, your grandkids, your friends, your nieces and nephews to just do something creative and fun together. So before I go, I have just a couple of announcements. First of all, Valentine's Day is coming up, so I just wanted to remind you all about the gift registry. The gift registry is not just for Christmas time or for the holiday season. It's good for Valentine's Day, for your birthday, for any gift giving occasion, whether it's ice cream day or hat day, whatever. We do keep those on file here at the shop. And then once an item is purchased off of there, we cross it off. So don't forget your registry. Also, we've got classes, yay, for the first quarter of the year. They're up online. So we've got everything from felting, weaving, spinning, knitting, and crocheting. So a little bit of everything. Trying to see what else is coming up. I know I'm teaching top-down sock knitting, which is kind of fun for me. I haven't taught a knitting class in a while, so I'm looking forward to that. That starts on February 17th. Cheryl, do you have a Learn to Knit class coming up this week?
It is full.
It is full. Okay, when's your
There's
next
another
one?
beginning
February 5th?
I believe,
Yep.
and it's on Saturdays.
So Cheryl has a Learn to Knit class that is starting on February 5th. It meets 3 times, and that is a Saturday. I have a Learn to Crochet class starting on February 26th. That is also a Saturday. It meets twice. Andy is going to be teaching some crochet projects over Zoom. We've got the Mountaintop Beanie, the beaded crochet, and then we've got a lot of knitting classes coming up. So there is a lot here for you guys to take a look at. And the class list is all up to date on the website, so everything there is current. Also, just wanted to remind you guys about Fiber Friday coming up. There's 4 Fiber Fridays taught by my friend Melissa Leitman. And if you register for all 4 of the Fiber Fridays in February, you will get with Melissa, you will get a $25 LIS gift certificate, and she's going to be teaching some really cool stuff. We've got mosaic knitting, reversible cables, mitered squares, and oh darn, I forgot the last one. Sorry, Melissa. Reversible cables, mosaic. Oh, faux brioche. So it's the brioche look without all the brioche technicality to it. So that is what I have for you guys tonight. And thank you so much for joining me, and have a good rest of your weekend. And I'm going to go home and watch football. So have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Who's playing football?